Hi everybody, how we doing? Jo here. So you know what that means. Grab yourself a brew, maybe a cheeky biscuit, and let's have a catch up. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you all had probably a quiet one, like the rest of us. And what can I say? We're down in lockdown, back in lockdown in the UK. So we're just going to have to craft, aren't we? I must say, thanks to everybody who sent me the most wonderful messages, emails. This is just such a lovely group on here, and I'm so grateful for all your lovely messages. I haven't managed to reply. There were so many. I haven't managed to reply to everybody, but I do thank you. It's so lovely to hear from you. Now, a few ladies and gentlemen have been in touch, and it is lovely that you send me your questions, and I will try and help where I can. And you've said that especially after Christmas, New Year, especially here in the UK where it's dark and often cold in January, February, we lose our mojo. I think maybe go somewhere warm. So if any of you nice ladies and gentlemen in Australia or New Zealand, if you've got him over there, can you send him back, please? He needs to come back to us. So if you've lost your mojo, it's what do you do? And I know a lot of us, it happens to me. We all have days where we're maybe a bit fed up. We don't know what to do. So what I thought is I'd actually show you the process, what I do. And this is what I do. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. And what I tend to do is, I've had a bit of a tidy up in my craft room, which, you wouldn't believe. Now, are you like me? I save every piece of card. And I had 3 A4 storage boxes of pieces of card this size. And my husband came in and he said, with the best will in the world, darling, are you actually going to use all those? So it's been very cathartic actually, because what I've done is I've put them in the recycling. I've got rid of them, those small pieces, and it's given me more storage, so that will help. But also what I did do was I found some pieces of card like this. And I think these are from when I've been doing workshops and I cut extra card just in case. Now this is a perfect time for using these up. And what I would recommend to you is have a play. Now, you know I love inks, I love creating backgrounds, so it's a good time to just have a play. No pressure, not a specific project, we're just going to have a nice play. Now, the first thing I always do when I come in my craft room is fill my little craft pot, and I do think maybe I should treat myself at some time to a water pot. So maybe that's something I need to look into to see if a company does a nice water pot. But I have my fan brush and my fine paint brush in there just in case I need them. And what we're going to do is just create some nice little backgrounds. And one of the ways you can do it is by using your brayer. So get Billy Brayer out, and it's a great way of practicing using Billy. So I'm going to use weathered wood. And this is just nice little oxide that I like to use at the minute. So as always with the brayer, what we're going to do is always brayer onto your mat first, and then just bring it onto your card. Pick that up. Remember, always straight across. Don't start halfway or you'll get lines. Right, just see if there's a little bit left on there. That can take a bit further. Then we'll turn it round. And again, no pressure. It's a good time to just practice. Just always, like I say, on there, nice and loose. Don't grip him too tight. Now, I want one side a bit darker, so probably just go in with another little bit of darkness here. Pick a bit more up. The beauty of doing it on a craft mat like this is you can pick that ink up. Let me look at that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Now, what I would do is make quite a few of these and just use different colours. Now, I'm just going to clean my brayer, because if I don't, try and get in good habits. And I have to say, when I was tidying up, I found I've got a brand new Inky Binky, but I haven't used it yet. How sad is that? I've still got my old one. I'm a bit like that. I'm not good with new things. I like my old, comfortable things. Now, what I would do with this is get my fan brush, and let's just flick some water and put that to one side. So like I say, for me, if you're having one of those days where you don't know what you want to do, you're a bit fed up, put yourself some nice music on, maybe the radio, or if you've got one of those nice apps, I can't say a name because I've got one in here, and she'll switch music on if I mention a name and tell her what to do. You know, we call her She Who Can't Be Named, because even the grandchildren have learnt her name, except they ask for Peppa Pig. So get yourself some music, a nice brew, like I say, maybe a cheeky biscuit, or if you're being careful after Christmas like I'm trying to do, just a nice brew, and make yourself some backgrounds. Maybe try colours that you haven't used for a while. It's a good time to use different inks, different colours. Now the other thing I like to do is blending. As you know, I love blending ink. And one of my favourite combinations is yellow, orange and brown. But this you can mix up again. You can use yellow, orange and red, works really well. But this is just a nice go-to. Often if your mojo's gone, don't go trying new things. Well, I mean, obviously, I know you can if you want, but often if your mojo's gone, it's nice to almost, you know, we like our comfortable slippers and our comfortable jumper. I've got a nice baggy warm jumper on today. So for me, these techniques are what I class as my comfortable techniques. And what I find is while I'm doing them, almost my brain sort of wants to then progress and do other things. And I find it really does help Mr. Mojo come back. So what we'll do here, we'll start with the yellow, and I'm just going to blend. And again, it's a great way of helping you practicing your blending. So I'm going to blend some yellow at the top. And then I'm not going into the orange. So anybody who's watched my blending videos will know that what I do is then I'm going to come in with the brown at the bottom. And my brown's a bit, it's not as juicy as it was, hence why I get sometimes lines, but it doesn't matter, it's fine. If this happens, just carry on, it's not a problem, don't be precious over your blending. And what we're going to do now is bring in the orange. And the way I teach this is, the reason I've done it this way is when I bring the orange in, and again, this Spice Marmalade is one of my favourite inks and it's very dry. But when I do this, look, I can blend the orange into the brown and into the yellow at the same time. I'm going to turn my work round just because, again, it's easier. Now, it will shake a bit, I'm afraid, because, as I say, my ink pad's a bit dry, so I'm rubbing vigorously. So I'll try not to shake. My camera's attached to my table, I'm afraid. So I do apologise. I'll try and not move it as much. And what I would do then is come back in with the yellow and just go over that join there. Just work where it blends. And then the same with the orange, just again in the area here where we blend the orange with the brown. And let's just warm that up a bit. And then lastly, because my brown's so pale, I'm just going to come in and deepen that edge. Simple as that. Now, do make sure you put the lids on, because we're going to flick some water, and we don't want water to contaminate these ink pads. I have seen ladies at workshops actually take a wet brush to the ink pad. I personally wouldn't do that because you don't want to weaken your ink pad. And what I'm going to do is fan brush, and again, flick it with water. And these are best if you let them dry. Now, again, I would have a go if I've got my inks out and probably do the yellow, orange and red, or even if you've got a taller one, a DL card would look lovely, yellow, orange, red and then brown. And just let those, I'm going to put those on one side, and I'm just going to wipe my desk. Now, they are best left to dry naturally, but if you want to force them, you can use your heat tool. So here's two in the good old, anybody in the UK, the good old Blue Peter fashion. I've done these earlier. Now, what I wanted to show you, the one I've done here, at home, what I tend to do is if I'm working on backgrounds, I'll make myself just a piece of white card with a black matten layer on it, so that when I'm working on toppers like this, I just want to play with my toppers. And if I've got that look, I can always put that on and see what it will look like. I don't have to make it up, it just gives me an idea what it would look like on the card. Also, turn it over if I want to see it without the black mat and layer. It might be I want to blend some darker colour around the edge, but for me, I prefer that one on the black. But it's handy just to have one of these, and then when I make it up, I've decided whether I'm using the black or not. Now this one I just did earlier, exactly the same technique as, but using two colours. So I blended that stormy sky and then twisted citron with a tiny bit of rustic wilderness at the bottom, and then flip my water, and from my background just some stamping. So like I say, if it was me, just have yourself a good play and make some backgrounds like this. And then the other thing that I would suggest is, what I tend to do is have a look, go through my stamps. And I have a look for stamps that I haven't used in a while. And that's always good to just, again, it's sort of, sometimes by looking through your stamps, you can think, oh, I've not used that. And it almost gets you that you want to play, you want to use something. So I'm thinking, let's do this one first. Now, nice bright colours. What I'm thinking is, what about I know winter berries, they would actually look better on that, wouldn't they? So do you know what, let's swap the background, because I don't use this winter berries very much. Now these, oh, now I'm thinking they could come in from this side. So, and again, it's nice to just, it's amazing how it sort of reinvigorates you when you've got stamps you haven't used for a while. And these are also lovely because I know I can colour them in, and I enjoy doing that. It's nice to have some toppers made ready, and then, now do I have them? No, I want to have them hanging down. If you've got your toppers made ready, then if you did need a quick card, but also I think now, oh, that stamps beautifully, doesn't it? With lockdown, especially here, it's nice to just make some cards and just send them to friends. Just because. Now I'm thinking we could have another one there, because there's a smaller one. So I've left enough room for this smaller one. I know a couple of ladies have asked for workshops on Christmas, because again, they want to just make a start on next year's Christmas cards. Well, later this year's Christmas cards, next Christmas I should say. Right, there's a smaller one in this winter berries set. So let's just, if we put that more of an angle there, and as I say, I'm making this up as I'm going along, but exactly as you would do at home, just a good old play. Sorry if my head went in the way. I just want to see, oh, that looks better there. And then what I'm thinking, there's a little single one. Now I have to wipe my stamps each time I've used them, I'm afraid. You know me. I know some people don't clean them, but it's just, you know, that's just the way I am, unfortunately. I want to bring the single one more of an angle there. And just let me turn it round. Wouldn't do for us all to be the same, would it? Just put that one in there. And then I think it needs, if I look here, does it need one there? Yes, I think it does, just to finish off that top bit here. Oh yes, an angle would look better. There. Yeah, I like that flow. And what I'm thinking, I've got room there for sentiment. I haven't actually got any sentiment stamps out, but often I like to leave my cards without sentiments, so that if I suddenly need a birthday card or a, you know, a get well card, I've got one ready. So I'm going to turn that over and blot it. And then let's add some colour. Now we've got choices here now. We could go red, because obviously berries are red, but I'm fancying some blue. Now I'm going to use my Inktense pencils. As you know, these are water reactive pencils. Now if this was a darker colour, I would add some water here to faux bleach it. So if I show you what I mean. So you just take your water and then basically paint water into the area and it'll activate that ink. And then when you dab it, it takes away the colour. But for me, the grey is such a pale colour that I don't really need to faux bleach it out. I can actually put my pencils on top. But for example, the one here that I've done, if you look, I'm not having luck. My phone's just vibrating here. I'm going to ignore it. I'm not having much luck today. I started doing this workshop an hour ago and my neighbour knocked on the front door wanting to borrow a ladder. So I had to stop. And I like to do the workshop, these little videos in one take. So I had to start again. So I'm not having much luck, am I? Anyway, you know, it's a new year. We're going to carry on. You wouldn't like it if it was too easy, would you? I'm only human. So for this one, for example, because the green was quite dark in the background, once I'd stamped this lovely Chinese lantern, I did just faux bleach the colour out of these areas before I added my pencil. But with this one, there's no need. I'm going to come straight in with my blue. And I'm just going to use a darker blue at the base here. And again, you've got the idea of where the shade is on these. And I love the Inktense pencils. You could use any pencils if you wanted to use, if you're a fan of your other sort of markers or gel pens. It just happens that for me, these are the pencils that I like to use. But again, like I say, you know, we all have different techniques and different products. Try not to use the same amount of sort of dark and light on all of them. You know, they're not always the same blue. So I'm coming in with a lighter one now, although it's still quite a darkish colour. And what I love about the Inktense, I don't have to colour perfectly. Now, obviously, I am doing this a little bit speedier than I would, because I'm always conscious that it must be boring just watching somebody colour in. But hopefully, as I say, you've got a brew, so you can have a little sip of your brew while you watch me colour. I just think the blue and the grey go so well together. Like I say, do keep a nice point with these pencils as well. And then all you do, take your water, and again, just take the worst off with a little piece of kitchen roll. Get used to doing that. Just saves having extra blobs. See, I've got a blob there. Now, all you're going to do is activate that blue and blend the light blue and the dark blue. And look how rich. Now, again, I am being a bit speedy here. So if I go outside the lines, please forgive me. But like I say, I'm conscious of, I don't like to speed the tutorials up, but I am conscious of trying not to take all day. So just go in, and can you see the difference? How vibrant it looks once you've added that water. You can always tell if you've missed one. You can tell the difference between the ones that you've coloured in. So we'll just, last one here. There we go. And again, how pretty is that? Now I'm just going to put my heat tool very quickly just to dry it off a bit, front and back. And then, as I say, I'm not going to do much more to this one because I think it would look lovely with a sentiment. What I will do, and again, this is just the way my mind works, what I'm thinking is, if I bring a bit of Stormy Sky, just blend it. I want to darken that edge. And I just thought the grey on grey might not show up well, but the Stormy Sky with it being a bluey grey, yeah, see, I like that. Let's bring it up here. And you know what? Your staple, your moon mask. Let's add that. If I can pick it up. Now, where's that going to look good? That wouldn't look right, would it, over there? Let's just put it sort of peeping out here. Now, again, I don't want this to be in your face. Don't want it to be too strong. So that's why I'm using my Distress Oxide. I could use a Versifying Clay, but I want this to be very sort of misty, not totally in your face. Lift it up and have a little look. Yeah, to me that's enough. I don't want any more than that. I want to keep it quite sort of, as I say, almost like a misty feeling. And again, we're just making toppers, aren't we? So let's bring in our black that we've got ready, and then we can see, so how's that looking? So imagine a sentiment there stamped in black. Now for me, this space here needs something, but not a lot. So do you know what we'll do is put a little bit of that ink on our mat. Pick it up and let's just add a few flicks, something or nothing. And what I think is we need something a bit darker. So sorry for leading across, but I'm just going to add a little bit of peacock feathers. Just a few. Yeah, I like that. I think that finishes that off. And then obviously the last thing you need, and it's quite nice because if you get yourself in a bit of a routine, the little white highlights, let's just Posca pen. Now you could add some glitter if you wanted. But I'm thinking just little highlights on that, maybe a little on the odd one there. And then, like I say, for me, pop that on there. And then I reckon by the time you've done that, you'll be thinking, oh, how could I make it a bit Christmassy? Or could I do the berries in red? And again, your mind, hopefully you'll be wanting. What I'd really love is at the end of this, that it makes you want to go in your craft room. It makes you want to do some crafting. Well, that's my idea anyway. That's what I'm hoping. So let's have a look at this one. What can we do with this one? Now, I do love these trees. I was intending using these trees, but I actually think they would look better. Yeah, so when this is dry, I'll use the trees on that. So let's have a look. What else have I got? Seed heads. I do love these. Let's go seed heads. Thinking the black. I love black stamped onto this. You don't need to do a lot. I hope you all got nice things for Christmas. Did you get any, well, as if you wouldn't get nice things, that's a bit of a silly thing to say, Mrs. Rice. Did you get any craft things? I got a lovely storage box off my friend Lisa for my ink pads. I think it's her attempt at starting to tidy up my craft desk, and it has worked. I have done a bit more tidying. Right, I'm just going to stamp. Let's have this one here. Going upright with these. But yes, so I got some lovely storage for my ink pads. And I must admit, I've bought myself a new set of drawers for my A4 card. As I say, in an attempt to tidy up a little bit. Have you got any new products? It's quite nice getting new products, and if you don't know how to use them, sort of discovering how to use them. I know quite a few of the workshop ladies have got the Inktense pencils, so we're going to have a workshop on those, so that'll be nice. As you know, I love using those. I'm going to come in with the black, the solid ones that are with the seed heads. Now, don't worry, it's like there. It's not completely black. Doesn't matter. I've obviously not put enough ink on. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes it can be if your card's not quite dry. I nearly dropped it then. I want to see if I can put 2 in here, because what I don't want is I don't want it to look regimented so that it goes solid, colour solid. You want a bit of, it almost look a bit more natural. So I'm just altering the shape and the design. You see how it just looks better? Again, when you're doing things like, I mean, as you know, I adore flowers. They are my go-to stamps for Lavinia. But do try and alter the angle. You know, I always say we don't want soldiers in a row. So if you want it to look like it is more in a meadow, we need this lovely, we don't want them the same height, we don't want it the same angle, and we don't want them regimented. So that, for me, is just lovely. And again, I'll just turn it over. Sorry, excuse me. My tickly throat hasn't recovered, I'm afraid. It still goes, so do excuse me if I go a bit croaky. Unfortunately, they think I may be left with it forever, so I've warned Carl. I think he's got used to me being croaky. So what I'm doing now is just using my Inktense pencils and using the red. Now, although I've got a very orangey background, I just want to keep with the same colour tones, the red and the orange. Sometimes it's nice to use a contrast. Do you know what? On this one, I just fancied keeping the same colour tones. But again, it's all about playing and having fun. You know, we're using odd bits of card, aren't we? So you could do one with orange. You know, you could mix it up. I could have done these blue. I mean, green is a colour I tend not to use very much. So maybe I could have done more green. Again, maybe experiment with colours you don't. Let's get stamps out you've not used for a while. Let's get some ink pads you've not used for a while, because we do tend to go to the same ones, don't we? Right, I like that. Now, what I'm going to do is here, where the black didn't stamp perfectly, I'm just going to come in with a bit of red. And you know what? It'll look like it's just highlight. It's supposed to be like that. There we go. As long as you don't tell anyone, I won't. Right, so back with my paintbrush, and I just want to activate this. And I just want to draw that red into the orange, so it's almost a nice... I could have done them all red, but I just love that tone of the orange and the red together. And like I say, very quickly, I think you've got such a lovely design. I had a little bit of something on there. I don't know, I think it was a bit of crayon. Try not to brush your work like that. You can smudge things. Try and get in the habit of, dare I say it, just giving it a bit of a blow if you get a bit of glitter or something on there. Right, let's give that a blot. Let's bring the moon mask in. I think that would look nice as well. Now I'm thinking, let's go orange. Have I got... Now let's go back with the spice marmalade. And we're just going to go around that one there. Now again, I don't want it to be really in your face. I just want it to be a nice glow. Again, always go on the mask first. Now I will need more colour at the bottom, because obviously it's going on the orange. But I think I don't need any more than that. What I will do is that, just for me, a bit dark there. Let's see if we can just smudge that out a little. Yeah, that looks better. I almost had a harsh line there. Right, just clean my moon mask. Like I say, keeping those good habits. And where's that matte layer? Let's have a look, see how we're doing. Oh, yeah. Oh, look. Only just. Let's imagine. Obviously, this piece of card is a bit bigger than the other. You can tell I didn't prepare, can't you? But you get the idea. So if I put black on those two sides, look. I think that's so pretty. So, last few things. You know what? I'm going to add one of those butterflies. Again, this is just me being me. What about this little one? Yeah. This is a lovely butterfly set. Look, there's 4 butterflies on here. Lavinia, and it's so useful. You know, sometimes when, like I say, especially for a meadow scene, I just think a little butterfly is all you need. And if I'm going to put it there, I want it half on and half off, where the sun is. Now, a Posca pen, and let's just add, we're not going to overcomplicate this. You could blend more colour around, you could add, but again, we're talking, you know, it's just a day when we're just having a bit of fun, creating some nice toppers, nothing too difficult. Look at that. Now, I've got to be honest, I'm so pleased with that. I think that is so pretty. I'd love these colours together. And again, I would leave it without a sentiment. I mean, don't forget, if I turn this over, look, you could pop it on, obviously, bigger piece of card, stamp your sentiments here. That would look nice. Now, again, if you didn't want to mat it on black card, you can use the Sharpie trick. So for anybody who's not done that, all it is get yourself a black pen. I've got a Sharpie, a permanent marker, but you could use, if you've got a black pro marker or something like that. And again, just use your ruler. I think I need to invest in a new Sharpie. But you've got the gist. You just go around all 4. This is good as well. It saves on black card. So if you've not got black card at hand, or if you don't want to be, you know, cutting black card. And also if you're posting, it saves on the weight, which can be important if you're doing a few mats and layers. But one little tip, always just wipe the edge of your ruler. Again, let's keep those. 2021, we're going to have good, clean habits. Because if you don't, you'll get it on your hands, then it'll get on your work. So if I move that out of the way and bring that in, look, so you see how that black around it has just finished it off. So these are my little toppers that we've done today. Now you see I don't know which one to put on there, do I? So we've got, could be that one. Could be that one. So I'll probably put them like that to give you an idea. So I hope you've enjoyed our little catch up, and I hope you have a go at just making some simple backgrounds and then just have fun. Create yourself some nice toppers, maybe some nice summer colours, or like I say, some moody colours. Maybe start next year's Christmas cards. Whatever you do, I'd love to hear from you, as always. Tomorrow I'm just going to record another workshop. So for those of you that have got up to workshop 7, workshop 8 will be on its way later this week. It's so lovely to have those of you along the journey that you are doing. So I'm going to go now because I think you've heard enough of me for today. Thanks as always. Honestly, I do appreciate your comments, and such a lovely group on here. So take care, everybody. Bye for now.